Hey guys, and welcome to another YouTube video. In this video we're gonna be writing a Python program that randomly selects a Wikipedia article, and with a simple GUI that's gonna tell us the text and the title of the article we selected, and if the action was successful or an error occurred. So now you can see your title. Initially it's none because you haven't run it, and status is none. So if we run this now, you're gonna see it's gonna open a web browser and load a web page. So successful, and let me run that again. You see it got updated. So let's get started. So right now, and I have my web browser open here, so I want to come here, I want to right click over here and copy link. So when you copy the link, so what this random article does is if I tap it, you're gonna see it's gonna create another random article. So it's gonna generate a random article from Wikipedia. As you can see, it's updating. So now let's go back to our Visual Studio Code, and before we move on, I want you to go to command prompt and type in pip install pip install bs4. So so already have mine installed, so you can see requirements already satisfied, but yours should print out some bunch of text saying downloading bs4. So now I believe that you already downloaded it, so now let's get started. So from tkinter import star. So this is the GUI framework we'll be using. You can use Kiwi, PyQt5 and other GUI frameworks, but if you don't know what tkinter is, don't worry, I'm gonna be explaining what I'm doing. So now I'm gonna say from urrlib dot request I want to import url open. So url open, and from BeautifulSoup, so bs4, I want to import import BeautifulSoup, this one, and finally I want to import web browser. So now let's create a variable called url, and I want to assign its value to be equals to the link we copied. So now I want to create another variable called page, and I want to assign its value to be equals to url open, and I'm gonna pass a parameter url. So this variable url, which is gonna open this url over here. So now I want to create another variable called html, and I want to assign its value to be equals to page.read. So I want to read this page, but when I want to read the code from this page. So this is the HTML code. So now when I read it, it's gonna be encrypted. So what I have to do is I gotta decode it. So decode UTF-8. So it's no longer encrypted, so I've decoded it. And what I gotta do now is to create another variable called soup. You can name it whatever you like. So soup, I'm gonna assign soup to be equals to BeautifulSoup. I'm gonna pass the variable HTML, which contains the code of the web page. So I'm gonna tell BeautifulSoup that I'm reading a. So I'm gonna tell BeautifulSoup that I'm passing in a HTML code, so it gets notified and it knows what to do. So now what I'm gonna do is gonna open. So I'm gonna say web browser dot open, and we're gonna pass URL. So this one is gonna actually open the URL and open it up in our web browser over here. So that's what that does. So now let's wrap this in a function to make it reusable. So I'm gonna say define what should I name it? Let's say random selector. I can spell that. So that, and we're gonna use try and accept in case we run into any error. So we're gonna say that and accept. So yeah, so as of now it opens it up, and I want to print out the title of the article we open. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say print soup dot title dot string. So it calls out this soup, and it tells Beautiful Soup to find where title is, the tag title, and it prints out the title, and we're gonna use string to print it out as a string, as plain text. So now, and I want to print out if it was successful. So I'm gonna say print successful. That's really a successful, and except I'm gonna print out error. So just error. So I'm gonna call this function, so random selector, I'm gonna call it, and do I have any error? So let's run that now. So as you can see, it gives successful and the title name straight and true. So that is the title. So you can see it over here. This is the article it opened for us, and let's run that again. You're gonna see it's gonna open another random article. It's not gonna repeat itself. So you can see it opens another article and not that one. So you can see this is different from the other one. So that's what it does. So that's how it works. So now I want to use I'm going to use the GUI. So what I'm going to do is to create a variable called root. I'm going to assign its value equals to tk. So what this does is going to create an empty window. So I went an empty window. So now I'm going to say root dot main loop. So what it does is updates the window. So whatever we do, and so it just updates the window. So these updates the window. So now I want to create some variables. So I'm gonna create a variable called title. So title label, and I'm gonna assign this value equals to a label. Text should be equals to title, comma, font. I want to give it a font. So the font is gonna be first of all I have to give the size I want it to be in. So I want it to be in 15, and I'm gonna put the font family, so Arial, comma this. So now that's how you create a label. So now I want to copy that sometimes. So yeah. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna assign this one's text to be equals to none. I'll explain why I'm doing that now. So text this one should be equals to the status and none. This I want to create a variable called let's say title text, and let's this call it status label, and status text. So I'm creating a variable called title label, and I'm assigning its text to be equal to title, font is equals to Arial, and the font size is 15. So I did that for all of them. So now for the text I want to give it a width. So I'm gonna say width should be equals to 50, and status text, and to give it a width as well, so I'm gonna say width should be equals to 50. So now if I run this, you're gonna see that it's not gonna give me anything. So because I don't want to run it, so I won't waste you guys time. So now I'm gonna say title label dot grid, and I want to put it in the first column. So column should be equals to 0, and row should be equals to 0. Sticky should be equals to west. So don't worry about that, just I'm gonna explain. So just hold on. So I'm gonna copy this. Okay, so over here I'm gonna say title text, so title text, and over here I'm gonna say status label and status text. So now the text, I'm gonna remove this sticky first, and the row is gonna be still gonna be 0. The row is gonna be 2, since this one is the first one, and this one row is going to be 0, this one is going to be 1, and they're going to be in row 2. Remember that computer starts to count at 0, so 0 is 1 and 1 is 2. So now text, I'm going to remove this sticky. Actually it's supposed to be sticky, yeah. So what this sticky does, it's okay, for actually let me just remove this so that you will see what happens when I don't do that. So let me run this now. Just hold on a bit. So now it's running. Okay, I have an error. So it's okay. Sorry. So it's supposed to be width. Yeah. So let me see if I don't have any error again. So let's run that again. My apologies for that. And I'm waiting for the tkinter window. So as you can see, it gives me this window. So you say title none. So as you can see here, you can see text is equals to none. The first one is title, and you can see title. The other one is this status label, which is status, and you can see text is equals to none. So now if you notice, and if you look closer, you can see that over here there is a gap, because this is the number of letters is smaller than this status. So if I use the sticky, you're gonna see the difference now. So let me, where is the status label? So I'm gonna say sticky should be equals to the west. So west is the left. So I'm gonna say sticky should be equals to west. So moves everything to the west, which means to the left. So let's run that again. And this line, okay, sorry, I was supposed to close this. Okay, so I have an error, so it says sticky. Oh, sorry, it wasn't supposed to be here. My apologies for that. Actually supposed to be over here. So sticky is equals to west. Sticky is equals to W. I'm gonna copy that. Control C. Status label. Control V. And let's run that now. Okay, so now you can see that this looks different from the other one. So now you can see everything goes to the left and everything is aligned. So now I don't like it as it's here, so I want to move it a little bit to the right and give some spacing between this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, so to the title, I'm gonna say over here. So I'm gonna do pad X should be equals to 20. So this gives a horizontal gap, and pad Y should be equals to let me say 10. So I'm gonna copy that now. So I'm gonna copy this, Control C, and then I'm gonna do that for the other label. So Control V. So now let me run this now. So now you can see the spacing. You can see the spacing now. So this looks better than the other one before. So now let's update it. So whenever it runs, I want to print out the title. So now I'm gonna say title text to be dot config. So what it does is it configures the label. So I'm gonna assign its text to be equals to, you can see this over here. So I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna copy this thing. So Control C. I'm gonna paste it over here. So the text is gonna be equals to whatever we get. So now I want to say I want to configure our status. So sorry about that. So let me just remove this. So I'm gonna say status text dot config. So I want to configure that. So it's config. I'm gonna assign its text to be equals to successful, and let's close that. Actually, let me make everything capital letters. So successful, yeah. So now what we're gonna do is do that over here for the except side. So we're gonna say status config. So we're gonna copy that over here. So we're gonna say was not successful. So now we can actually remove this. Now we don't need that again. So the text HTML text is equals to that. Okay, so now let's take a look at that. So let's run that now. So I'm gonna run it, and as you can see, it gives me title, and you can see the text over here, which is the title, and you can see status is it's trying to tell me that it was successful. And you can also open here and you can see it here. So that's it. So now I don't like the color, so I'm gonna set the color. So root.config, I wanna set its color to be equals to this. So BG is equals to this hexa color. So I got this from the net, so it's a kind of a dark theme. So BG stands for background color, so you can do that. So let's create a button because we don't always have to rerun this. So whenever we just tap the button, we're gonna actually automatically refresh. So right here I'm gonna create a button. So let me call it my button. So I'm just gonna, you can name it whatever you like as usual. So I'm gonna say button. I'm gonna create the button class, and I'm gonna assign its text to be equals to let's say run. So that, I'm just gonna copy this from here. So yeah, I'm just gonna paste that over here. Okay, actually I haven't even copied it, so I want to copy this here to here, Control C, and I'm gonna paste it. So now I gotta output it, so let it be on the screen. So I'm gonna say my button dot grid. So I'm gonna say my button dot grid. I'm gonna I'm gonna give it the column should be equals to column 1. So I want column 1, and row should be equals to row 2. So whenever we tap the button, what we want it to do is to run this function over here. So this random selector. So what we're gonna do is gonna say command is equals to random selector. So over here, please note that you're not gonna put the parentheses, just give it, just state it like that. So right now I'm gonna remove this function so we don't have to call it any longer. Whenever we want to call it, we just tap the button and that's works. So let's run that again and hopefully it will work. So let's tap run, and we're gonna wait for that to run, and you just saw it, it runs. So it's run. So you can see the title and it opens the web page for us, and let's run it again. So you're gonna see if it's gonna update. So you see it's updated. So that's let's give some let's with the button, my button, let's give this a width. Let's say width should be equals to let's give it a 10 or 7. Let me give it a 8 first. So let's run that and see what happens. So let's run that and see how that's gonna look. So yeah, perfect. So now you can see your title. Initially it's none because you haven't run it, and status is none. So if we run this now, you're gonna see it's gonna open a web browser and load a web page. So successful. And let me run that again. You see it got updated, and now I want to off my Wi-Fi so it doesn't run. So if I disconnect right now, disconnected, you're gonna see that it's gonna give me the error over here. So you're gonna see was not successful. I see was not successful. So that's it for this video, guys. Please like, share and subscribe. Share it to your friends and families, and remember to hit the notification button, and I will see you in the next video.